It is MRN Radio on location, Racing Electronics Display here at the PRI show. Steve Post, so glad you joined us here. You can check out all of our YouTube videos all week long as we covered the gamut of racing. It's been an absolute blast. We're going to talk a little ARCA Menard Series racing, the general manager for the Pinnacle Racing Group team that won the championship with Butterbean Queen this year. Shane Huffman joins us. Hey, man, how are you?
I'm doing well, Steve. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Doing really, really good. Won the championship with Butterbean. I'll tell you what, he's an energetic young man. You guys really had a heck of a season, that's for sure.
Well, if you wrote it down on paper at the beginning of the year and you said we were going to win 10 races out of, the 23 or 24 we ran, you'd say that's awful lofty goals, So to being able to do that was pretty incredible. And it's just a testament to Stephen Dawson and all the guys at the shop, and their hard work and effort. And it's really, our name is Group, right? And we're not we're one, and everybody works as one, and it's a fun environment, and we work hard, we play hard, and we try to win races. So
this program has really been interesting because it's kind of dropped onto the scene here over the last couple of years. But you're a veteran of the sport. You've been around the sport for years and years. What's it been like for you to not only work with your group to develop it and to have this discuss, but what's it been like to do that as a veteran of the garage area?
It's a lot of fun, honestly. I think, when Mark Webb and Jerry, we met for the first time and started talking about, what we wanted to do, it was kind of, he was kind of burdened with the fact that he needed to start a race team, and he just didn't know what he wanted to race, didn't know where he wanted to race, and so I was working with Connor Mozak at Brett Holmes Racing at the time, and so we called Lauren Rainier at Chevy, and so we kind of went down the ARCA path because there was a little void there, for Chevy's program, and so we decided to go ARCA and late model stock racing, and man, it's just been, Shane Huffman owns 0% of Pinnacle Racing Group, right? But if Shane Huffman was building a race team, I would do it exactly like I did it, and so it's been a lot of fun. It's been, that Mark and Jerry are just incredible owners, and giving me a lot of rope, to be able to do what we've been accomplished so far and yet to come, and so it's everything you'd want as a general manager, I can promise you.
You're the general manager. I love covering ARCA races because I love climbing on the pit box and talking to you as crew chief. Do you miss the crew chief role because you've actually had to step away from that a little bit?
I think I've actually stepped away from it really in 2024. I kept the title because Stephen didn't want to be named crew chief, and we were really successful with Connor Zillich, and won a lot of races and stuff, and it really bothered me, Postman, that Shane was getting the credit and Stephen and Garrett was doing the work, and so I pretty much told Stephen, you're going to be the crew chief. I said it's not fair for them to be talking about me, and you guys are actually the ones behind the scenes doing everything. And so, I pretty much made him do it at Phoenix last year in the fall, and we come out of the box and he won the race. So I guess that gave him a little confidence to go ahead and say, yeah, we'll do it. So
that is really, really cool. The other problem is on our side of it, we see a familiar face that always gives us good answers. We're going to run to you instantly, and I think that's really, really neat. All right, you mentioned the relationship with Chevrolet, okay? And you and I chit-chatted a little bit before. There's nuts and bolts and body panels and parts and pieces, but there's the human element of it. Just, Shane, talk a little bit about what Chevrolet brings to the human element when you come to developing young drivers.
So I think some people may or may not know, but Josh Wise, he's a former driver, Cup driver, and I think drove a little bit of junior motorsports as well in the Xfinity Series or O'Reilly Series now, and so he when he got done driving, he was a little bit in limbo, like we all have been, right? And so he figured out, what he thought he would really be good at, and basically, psychology is a big part of anything we do in life, right? And so he put together a company called Wise Optimization, and so he presented it to Chevrolet at the Tech Center when they opened that deal up, and the two integrated, and Josh Wise has just been a huge part of our success with these kids coming along at such a young age. He puts a lot of work in the detail part of the preparation, and he's got some key partners involved with him, you know, and Scott Speed is a big part of his program. Former F1 driver, you know, and so he really brings a ton of experience and knowledge to the road course part of it. You know, these kids and even, you know, probably Justin and a lot of these other guys, you know, through the week they'll be over at Trackhouse go-kart track training through the week, you know, and so they ride bikes, they work out obviously, but he puts a big emphasis on the just the mental preparation side of it as well. And Josh has been, you know, I really think that Chevrolet with Josh and Wise Optimization there has a big, you know, advantage over the other manufacturers right now, just in what they're doing and how they're doing it.
You're a former racer. Let's talk a little bit about the mental game of it. This sport is brutal, okay? You see now what these kids are getting from Josh and everything. I'm sure you see the value of it as a guy that didn't have that as you were coming through the ranks.
I joke. We actually had a meeting over there a couple weeks ago with he and Lauren Rainier, and I've said it before to him. I was a man. If Shane Huffman had this at these kids' age, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you about what I'm talking to you right now about, you know, because it's just such a big part of the success of these young men and women that are coming along. And you know, obviously, you know, you could look at Connor Zillich and you know, and his, but Luke Finhouse was a part of that, you know, to start with, and so it's been, Brendan was involved in the program as well last year, you know, and so it's just been it's been honestly regretful that I didn't have something like that, you know, and you know, I thought I was prepared back then, but looking at it now, I was not, you know, no question. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had success and you know, things like that, but the mental part of it, you know, that's what'll get you, you know, if you have a few bad weeks in a row and you're younger and you're always concerned about your job, you know, if you were like me, and so, you know, if I'd have just had something, you know, on the backside to kind of help me remove that part out of my mind and focus forward and really concentrate on what's important instead of worrying about what's not, you know, and so it would have been a big benefit. But it is to these kids, and I'm glad to be a part of it, you know, the receiving end of it from Josh. So.
Shane, it's always good to hang out with you. I love hanging out with you at the racetrack. I love hanging out here at the PRI show. I know there's some big announcements coming up for you guys as you look forward, but appreciate the time here today and joining us in the RE booth.
Yes, sir, Postman. Anytime, man. I always enjoy it.
There we go. Pinnacle Racing Group General Manager Shane Huffman joining us here at the Racing Electronics display.